Well, welcome. I'm Kevin George. I'm the founder and managing director of Progility Partners and the chairman of the Southeastern Software Association. Welcome to the third annual SSA Impact Awards. This is our second standalone event. I'm looking out over this group, and obviously the software industry here in the Southeast is vibrant and it's growing. Our event last year was our first standalone event, and we had about 80 attendees. I think 80 is about there. So thank you all. Obviously there's a real need for this to recognize the great work that everybody in the software industry is doing here in Georgia. As many of you already know, the SSA has a long-standing history of being a catalyst for the growth of the software industry here in Georgia. We were founded back in the mid-1980s by John Yates and several other entrepreneurs in the software space, and continue to grow that organization for a number of years until we merged with Women in Technology and Business and Technology Alliance to form TAG, Technology Association of Georgia, in 1998. Since then, and with a lot of great leadership from Tino and his team, we've seen a lot of impact and a lot of growth in the software industry over the years here in Georgia and throughout the Southeast. And if you can't look around you, this is a pretty bright group of people, and there is a bright future here for software in Georgia. Each year we get together now, we've been doing this for 3 years, to recognize companies and their teams who build great software products. They build them for internal use, they build them for their customers, and they build them for other people. And what we're here to talk about today is to really recognize those who've done outstanding jobs over the last year with new releases of their software, new launches of companies, whatever it might be, but something has happened within the last 12 months. There's been a lot of work around the tables here to get to this point. Tonight, as we highlight this year's finalists, you'll get a note, you'll start to think to yourself, wow, there's some really cool stuff happening here in Georgia. Everything from social media companies to enterprise software companies to financial technology, which we're definitely highlighting this year as our Where Georgia Leads category. Just a few quick facts about Georgia. How many of you know this? Raise your hands. Where do you guys think we are in terms of employment in the software industry here in Georgia? Top 20?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, top 20? Top 15?
Oh yeah.
Top 10?
Oh yeah.
That's right, we're in the top 10. Top 10 of employment in software in the country, as Georgia is alone. And in the Southeast, Georgia and our 5 neighboring states, we're actually number 2, behind the Silicon Valley in California. That's not so bad. I remember when I moved here about 15 years ago, that Georgia was about 15th. And Raleigh and Research Triangle Park were actually ahead of us in terms of the number of software. We're way ahead now in terms of Georgia. But the Southeast has a very strong and vibrant growing industry. The other thing you may have heard about recently is that Georgia was recognized as the #1 state in the nation for entrepreneurship. Look around you. A lot of software guys and ladies starting businesses here in Georgia. We're the #1 in the country in terms of entrepreneurial activity. So as you can tell, it's a pretty truly exciting time to be involved in the software industry here. And Tino Mantello, president of TAG, will be coming up shortly, telling us a little bit more about that and highlighting the financial technology segment, as well as Barry McCarthy from First Data. We talk a little bit more about the growth of the industry, what's really happening there in terms of the things that are making things really get big and strong and exciting, not just in terms of the technology, but also in terms of employment here in Georgia. Before I kick off this event, I'm going to thank our sponsors, Morris Manning & Martin, CompuWare, Infor, Partners Consulting, Quality Technology Services, and Primus Software. Thank you guys. I also want to extend my sincere thanks to the SSA Impact Awards Committee. So if you guys could please stand, you guys did an enormous amount of work this year. This is awesome, thank you. And a special thank you to the chair of this year's committee, Bruce King from J&J. Bruce, if you could come up here for a second. Bruce has worked an enormous number of hours, kept a schedule that is probably even longer than mine, which is pretty tough to do. But thank you, Bruce, for all your work. I wanted to recognize you with something that you can take home with you and enjoy this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. Appreciate it. And I also want to extend a personal thank you and special thank you to Catherine Watson from TAG, our liaison. Catherine. This is Catherine's first full year at TAG. Actually, it was less than a full year. She jumped in and filled some really amazingly big shoes. And we've doubled the size of the event this year thanks to a lot of your help, really. So there's a lot of finalists here. Let me tell you a little bit about how competitive this year was. We had over 100 nominees. Our judging committee, I gotta tell you, it was tough judging because there was an enormous amount of great talent here in the room. But to be selected as a finalist in and of itself is an honor. Congratulations, guys. You've done some great work this year. Thank you. So without further ado, it is my privilege to introduce tonight's Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Richard Warner. Richard has done a lot of this sort of thing. He's emceed numerous events and moderated panels for dozens of organizations, including the Metro Atlanta Chamber, Emory University, State of Georgia, Georgia Trend Magazine, the Atlanta Business Chronicle, and of course last year's SSA Impact Awards. Richard's career on radio and television spans more than 35 years. We're going to cut that 25 years, we'll just call it. 35 is maybe too long. No way you're 35 into that. Including 5 years as a nationally syndicated radio columnist, 30 years as host of a weekly CEO interview show on public television, and 15 years covering business and consumer issues on Fox 5's Good Day Atlanta. Richard is the founder and CEO of What's Up Interactive, one of the South's fastest growing digital agencies. Their clients include the Home Depot, AT&T, American Cancer Society, Ingersoll Rand, Georgia Lottery, and the Georgia Aquarium. Richard serves on the board of the Journalism School at UGA, the board of Georgia Chamber of Commerce, and last fall was elected to the Georgia Radio Hall of Fame. Please welcome Mr. Richard Warner.